He's going to put his shorts on. Not yet. He's going to be.
Are you?
मुसद्दिक लोग खाली अपने नेम बोलते हैं
परसों में पुराने
शॉर्ट कर बारे तो Dr. Rahim now is going to show us some exercise. Doctor.
Bismillah. So,
Doctor, you are going to show us exercise?
yeah, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and Kushali Mubarak. Today I've been asked to show you the exercises. So I will start. Now, there are many people who suffer from back problems, including myself. So there are special exercises for the back, and I'll show you some other exercises as well. Now, to start off with, I will show you the exercise for the usual exercise. Now, the arm exercise, you have to turn the arm like this, rotate it like that. So what will happen is the shoulder, because quite a lot of people have stiff shoulders and they have arthritis of the shoulders, and that will help forward and backwards. And then you can do the exercise with the left arm as well. So you do exercises for both arms. And also for the hips. For the hips, you do like that and like that. So you do all the movements of the joints. Back, forth, side, and also rotation. Rotation of the hip, because that is important so that you can get the hips, because a lot of people have hip problems in our community. So these are the things. And then there's another exercise for the back. Now, we can start with this. You start like that, then you put it down like this, then here, then to the knee, down there, back, and then to the side, and to that side. And that helps with the back pain. And then there's another exercise. You do like that, and then like that. Again, this is for the back, the spinal cord. It is so important. And then there's an exercise which quite often they've missed it out nowadays. It's when you're sleeping down. Now, this is a very important exercise which my physiotherapist has shown me, and it's very, very useful. Now, what you need to do, you need to lie down like this and go like that. So what happens, is the back muscles are done properly. See, that's one exercise. Then of course you can lift the leg up like this, and this one like this. Again, this for the hip, and then like that, and then you do like that. So this all helps with the hip and the back as well. So these are the useful exercises. Then you have the exercises for the neck, where you do like that, like that, like that, like that, and then you turn around. This is just to exercise the muscles of the neck, and that is very useful. So these are the exercises. Briefly, I'll give it to you. I think that's enough. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Asad.
We'll now request Shams Bhai to come and recite Quran for us. Shams Bhai, Quran for us. Between 5 and 10 minutes, yeah? Up to 11 o'clock, fine.
Okay.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بتغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على
محمد
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. May I please request you all to say Fatiha for Allah, Mahramin. Al-Fatiha. We are privileged today to have our guest speaker, Kakaji. He's most welcome to come and
حبيبي خدا ختم الانبياء باواز بلند صلوات You often hear people saying, I'm staying home because I've got mood poisoning. Not food poisoning, mood poisoning. That is typical self-care. That is what my subject is, self-care today. So staying at home, focus on yourself, looking after yourself. We need all to remember that resting is part of the process, even if it may come with part of a bit of pain. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, the most beneficent. All praises to Allah for this opportunity, for me to speak to my elders and my friends. Mr. Chairman, the seniors team, my dearest elders, brothers and sisters, if they are listening, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kushali of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam, Mubarak to all of us, and to you and to all of us, and to our 12th Imam. My name is Kakaji. I am a pharmacist by profession with a few years of experience in pharmacy, and I'm still working at this young age. I have, alhamdulillah, been blessed with a lot of children as well as grandchildren. And this is one of the reasons why I was looking at what the NHS is just recently talking about self-care. And that comes to NHS self-care, and the doctor here will appreciate what they mean. What happened was, during the pandemic, you could not get an appointment with the doctors. So what you used to do was to take out the old Amrutajam balm and, do, Hard the World and all that sort of thing to treat yourself. And suddenly you found that you were much better off doing your own treatment and looking after yourself rather than going to the doctors. And this has trended in the fact that the NHS has recognized that there's a great area here on self-care which will save the NHS a lot of money. Okay, at the same time, it will give you the control rather than somebody else telling you, take a couple of pills and you will be better off. So when I was introspecting into that, actually, I realized that there is a potential for our community to understand what self-care really is. And I will go through some boring facts to start off with, just to put into perspective what it means. And then we'll look at some of the ayahs from the Quran which has actually told us about it, and from the practices of Al-Bayt al-Islam on how to live a self-care life. So the definition of self-care, as far as WHO is concerned, is the ability of individuals, families, communities to promote, prevent disease, maintain their health, and cope with illness and disability, if any, okay, with or without the support of a healthcare worker. So if, for example, something went wrong and you could not do it for yourself, yeah, then there are healthcare professionals who will help you and guide you, okay? But that thing, like I must see my doctor within 2 hours and I must do this, that, the other, and then you are prescribed, you are given a few minutes to talk to your doctor, they dish out a prescription, you go to your chemist and get it, and things like that, is now really getting old-fashioned, if you see what I mean. It's more like self-care that you determine. So I was requested by a gentleman here to talk a little bit about diabetes, because apparently diabetes is one of those diseases which is prevalent in our community and underrated. People don't realize that they've got it. Now, diabetes is excess sugar in our blood through the organ failure in our body, basically, which is the pancreas, and because there's the pancreas not producing enough insulin. And what happens basically is that everything in your body changes with your organs, and everything within your body, I'm talking about A to Z of your body, changes with untreated diabetes. So, and this is all to do with sugar. Diet, sugar, lack of exercise, okay? And basically that's what it is. If you cut down all the sugars, you do regular exercise, control your BMI, honestly, this can go away, seriously. Unless, of course, it's inherent, which is genetic, then you have to take some tablets, and tablets will help you to do that. But you don't have to go to the stage 1 of type 1 of diabetes, whereby you have to inject every day, etc., etc. Yeah. So please, my brothers and sisters, what the request came in was to control your diabetes through diet, yeah, through better understanding of your own personal health, okay, to be very sure. Now, the important thing about diabetes is all about circulation. You see, life is all about circulation. Lack of circulation, and you got problems, okay? So what you need to have is your thin blood level vessels, whereby the blood flow is regular and potentially good for you. Yeah, and if you don't get the flow of blood, for example, into your eyes and other organs of your body, you start to see the impairment of those the organs, you know. You must have regular eye checkups, okay? You must have the leg checkups here to see if there's any neurological problems, etc. Get your toes, your nails, etc. cut regularly. Look after your feet, yeah, and do a lot of walking, okay? 20 minutes of brisk walk, okay, is better than a lot of things that we do, generally speaking. So this is just diabetes, just by the way. Okay. So self-care requires checking with yourself and asking yourself how you are doing physically, mentally, and emotionally. So some people use it to deal with difficult news stories, for example, okay, while others practice self-care just to maintain their happiness day to day. Self-care does not mean the same thing for every one of us. It will be different for everybody else. Yeah. So what is self-care for one person will likely be totally different for others. Yeah. And I'll give you a few examples of the type of self-care. One is the emotional self-care, such as self-talk, weekly bubble baths, if you like, you know, saying no to things that are unnecessarily stressful. You can tell them, no, sorry, I can't do this. You know, there's no need to be a yes man all the time, to be in these nice books, you know. Giving yourself permission to take a pause, you know, and say, okay, setting down a weekly chai and mandazi with a friend, for example. Say every Thursday you go out. I know my good friend from Peterborough has got a session every week with his friends in the evening. I think it's brilliant what he does. Okay, now another one is physical self-care, such as prioritizing sleep, adopting an exercise routine so you can stick with it on a regular basis with healthy food. Highly processed ones are not, because they've got preservatives and God knows what. Try to eat naturally if you can. Okay. Now, the other one is spiritual care, which, alhamdulillah, we are well acquainted to and we are well into it, such as attending religious services, majalises, dua programs, spending time with each other and understanding. And I mean, for example, if you come to Subuh Namaz on Saturdays and Sundays, you get these tafsir classes in Quran, which are really enlightening and uplifting, really brilliant. So this kind of thing, that you interact with people, with educated people, professionals, and you learn a lot more about it. Meditating and reading the Quran, obviously we know, I don't have to say so much about it, we've been listening to it every day, but really and truly, if we practice that, only one makra a day, you know, and I just recently started that. I mean, I used to be quite lazy with that, I'll admit it, you know, But once you see, you'll be amazed, where it takes you, what level to take you. Whenever we were in Hajj, Nazir and I would say, when come next year, we're going to do this, that, the other. Inshallah, we are now getting to that level whereby we are trying to see where we can understand. So this recitation of the Quran gives you complete peace, serious peace. It doesn't matter which chapter you look at. Any chapter is so peaceful. You should do exercise. We just did that, and we do it on Tuesdays as well. Just keep it up, and thank you for that introduction. Finding a purpose in life. In other words, according to the researchers, having a strong life purpose was associated with decreased mortality, especially at 2019, the COVID time. People say, "Oh, do I need to live now? I'm going through this rubbish, blah, blah, blah." Others say, "No, I have to. I have to be strong," and things like that. And the mortality rate went down, and there was research going on. With all these calamities, there are people who do research, produce PhD papers, etc., but it's very useful information that is fed back. Okay, it's a few years later, but we learn from that. So that's another one. Now, diet, sleep, I talked about. Getting outside. So this is like going outside of our center here, in your gardens, into the park, just walking. Amazing what nature is. And then, Surah Rahman and everything comes into the perspective when you look at the beauty surrounding us, what Allah has given us. And it's amazing. Every day you go, you will find something totally new outside, Even a bird feeding another bird, is different experience to what you saw last week, for example. Okay. So socialize as we do here. Alhamdulillah, it's going very well. But increase your circle on the outside as well to see how the other half live as well. You don't have to compromise your religion and your other beliefs that you have got, but you have got to understand how the other half live. Yeah, we are not the only ones. Allah has created humanity at large, like Imam Ali alayhi salam said, that a human is your friend in life. It is one of his things. So what I'm trying to say to you is that basically we should expand our horizon, okay? Meet people of all walks of life, all colors, all creeds, and that hate situation in ourselves that we have got for others. I'm not saying we have got it. What I'm saying is that some people may have hatred inside for some other community, some other things. That you should try to negate completely, okay? And try to say, if you do it with love and affection and with our akhlaq, you'll be amazed what we can do. You're all elders to me. I don't want to preach to you, so please kindly forgive me if it comes out like that. Prioritize exercise. I say stay hydrated, very important. To drink a lot of water, plenty of water on a regular basis, so they are fully hydrated. One of the yardstick is when you go to the toilet and you find that the color is very yellow, etc., you know that you are dehydrated. Yeah, make sure that it is neutral color, whitish or colorless. That gives you an idea of where you are. Okay, this is very interesting. I came across. It says, keep a gratitude journal. Quite interesting. Recognizing gratitude is a wonderful way to take care of yourself. Really, not every day is going to be easy, particularly as we age. By cultivating gratitude mindset, it can help us realize the good in our lives and focus on what we have been thankful for. Keeping a gratitude journal is an easy way to channel happiness. Write down a few things that you are grateful for every day. Okay? It can be used as a simple glowing sunset or a profound childhood memory. If I suddenly meet, I met somebody from Yemen today, and we were discussing different things. Now that will be a lasting memory for us, that I met him at the seniors occasion on a Wednesday, and he was telling me how they live in Yemen, etc., etc., and we build a relationship. So when I'm in Aden, inshallah, next time, I'll go and have a cup of chai with him. But these are memories that you treasure and you keep in thing with you. Other thing is you reignite your old passions. We used to play galoli and we used to do all sorts of things. Why not? We can still reignite them. I'm not saying we play garoli, but I'm just saying we can play a number of things. We can meet up, we can have a baraza like we used to, things like that. Okay? Whether it's an ongoing education or maybe a fitness class education, whatever we do, we used to do was the same. I mean, I remember in Songea we used to go into the deep forests there, and Anwar Bhai will recall there are very wild forests, Matagora Hills and all those sort of things. We used to go there, There were all sorts of things there, including snakes and things like that. We survived, we enjoyed it. We used to go in Lindy and have some jambu trees and things like that, all sorts of things. So those are the old passions that we used to have, Why not reignite it here? Why not have it here again, Eat a healthy diet, which I don't want to dwell too much about it. We know too much about it already. Coincidentally, this week is what they call a self-care week. Yeah. But before I go any further, anybody wants to ask me a question? Not that I'm a champion on this. I'll try to answer as much as I can. Or you can make a comment, please.
One is an observation.
Yeah.
Because you touched on diabetes.
Yeah.
A very close friend of ours, 73 years old.
Yeah.
He was diabetic. He would have to have insulin twice a day. And then he had a mild stroke. And that brought some realization to him that this is not the way I should live my life, because he was things were wrong. He then went on doing three things. He stopped all his carbs, no carbs at all, maybe little once a week. And he went on a rigorous exercise regime, 1 hour at the gym every day or every other day. And after 8 months, he's lost his weight, no insulin taken, nothing, and he's healthy as
Alhamdulillah.
expected.
Yeah.
So carbs, exercise, state of mind, and walking is the key to it.
Excellent. Thank you. That's correct. Absolutely. And the doctor will also agree with that. So,
Number 2 is a question to you, as you talked about COVID. We've had 4 vaccinations so far. Now they're doing the flu, the winter flu, and part 5. With all the negativity we've heard about the COVID vaccinations, what is your personal view on taking any more vaccinations in regard to COVID?
very good question. And really and truly, it's entirely up to you. I mean, it's widely promoted. I also give COVID vaccination from my pharmacy as well. Yeah. Personally, I haven't taken it. Although I've gone through a heart surgery and whatever, I haven't taken it, and neither have other people. But the uptake is reasonable. Yeah. Most of the people, it's not like as uptake as before. You have to weigh out, did you have any side effects with that, etc. Some people are now complaining about different kind of side effects. Others have actually complained about heart problems with some youngsters who passed away, etc. So really, I cannot. It's a personal judgment which I cannot influence you either way.
Professional,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
your professional life, how many deaths or how many discomforts or how many improvements have you seen to make a calculated judgment?
On the improvement side, I think a lot of people and a lot of elderly and the people who are in care homes feel much better, feel safe, because they think they will not get the COVID. And it gives them the opportunity for their grandchildren, etc., to come and visit them, etc., etc., on that level, okay? On the youngster level, the people who work in the cities and whatever, you are come in contact with other people, yes, that's another thing, it's positive. I think you should, one should take the COVID if you're happy with that, because that is one promotion NHS is doing. It is for your health, for the health of the nation, generally speaking. Yeah. So of course there will be people dying with that. Of course there'll be side effects with it, But there was a personal choice. I did a personal choice where I did not take. Where they've been requesting me to take it, I haven't taken it. I haven't even taken a flu vaccine. Can you believe it? Although I actively give out flu vaccines as well as COVID vaccine, but that's my personal choice. Sorry, I didn't ask your permission for the interaction. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Is that okay? Anybody else quickly? No? Can I, yeah? It's okay. Yeah. G doctor. Yeah, please.
On traveling,
Yeah.
do they ask for 1 and 2 for this new?
No, it's nothing yet. It's all gone at the moment. Even the United States have withdrawn it for the time being, as far as I know. Yeah.
I think with COVID, take it and somebody else gets it from you, you can get, you have to
You could infect so many
I
people.
think it's
Quite
better
right.
to take it. You have to go back because it's a new disease. Nobody knows much about it. You have to listen to the chief medical officer and what he says. If you say take it, take it. I can give it seven COVID vaccines. I've taken.
It's true. Yeah. So the benefits outweigh the dangers that they come up, and but there will always be people who will dramatize the situation, okay, who will try to put you off. If you are comfortable with taking it, I would go ahead with it.
People dying. I've seen my own niece, a young girl, dying of COVID.
Yeah.
And we've seen this is about his brother Ashik dying of
Yes, yes.
COVID. We've seen people, Dr. Sumar, who was had COVID, who's
Sure.
job. So we have had this experience. So we are the first people who should be able, who should really be taking the vaccine.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you for your input. I'll carry on, please. So, any other comments, anybody, before I go ahead? Okay, so this is the self-care awareness week, basically. And if you go onto the Google site, Dr. Google, you'll get a lot of stuff on, yeah. And you can go onto Google, and I would go on to Google and for seniors and elders, for youngsters, etc. For example, there are some sites now with NHS sites whereby you can say, Dr. Me. Dr. Me is for the children, primary school children. So if you Google or do an app, download the app, Dr. Me, the children can see how they can look after themselves. It's amazing. And when I was doing some research on this, I came across that, a few other apps which I'll give you. You learn a lot. It's amazing when you're preparing for a lecture like this. So much knowledge comes through what is available on the thing. So when you got minor ailment conditions, etc., the new thing that the NHS is doing now is called Pharmacy First. Okay, this is being launched in January. So by end of January, all the pharmacies will be offering this service called Pharmacy First service. Okay, so that cuts down doctor's time so that Dr. Rahim can go and play golf and we can be serving the patients, you see. So the idea is we free up the time of the GPs, okay, and they come and see the pharmacists. Now, pharmacists are very well trained, yeah. People who are underutilized, generally speaking. They've got massive training, 5 years of rigorous, 4 years of rigorous training, and then there's a training 1 year, okay? But because they were associated with this Blue Kawala's they seem to be a different level. But if you speak to every pharmacist, they've got depth of knowledge and they will guide you correctly, and they've got the time. So if you go to a pharmacy, you'll find that it's a open surgery all day long. From 9 to 6:30, 7, whenever they're open, it's an open surgery. And you don't need an appointment. You just walk in and say, I want to speak to Joe Bloggs, and you go and see Joe Bloggs and tell them the ailments, etc., and that's it. So that is Pharmacy First coming in now to support in your decisions for self-care. If, for example, somebody came to me, and I keep on saying, asking him about what is the color of the urine and what have you, did you see blood, etc., etc. Accordingly, I will diagnose what I think should be and refer accordingly. Now, if there are certain things that we cannot refer, we cannot do, the pharmacists, right? So we have to refer it to doctors. Some of the things the doctors can't do, they will refer it to the hospital, yeah? And things like that. So this is where, but if you can see that the first protocol for you, from January onwards, the government will encourage you to do that, will be Pharmacy First. I don't think they'll be ready with the with the computer things. I was in an LPC meeting yesterday and we heard that they're having issues with IT, but if the IT and everything is up and running, by 1st of February onwards, we're doing it. Already, I am seeing something in the region of about 7 to 8 ABPM blood pressure determination 24 hours a week, yeah, plus a few hundred patients every month on daily blood pressure checks. So they come in, I check the blood pressure for them. If they are elevated blood pressures, etc., we recommend ABPM, which is 24-hour monitor. They come to me, I give them the results, and if there's any anomaly, then we can actually treat the disease. So this is amazing. service that is being offered. Okay, this was launched last year. It's taken up beautifully, and we have made a difference. We have made a difference in a lot of people. 2 or 3 of them are, I can't name them, but they are also our own Khoja brothers here, I mean, we did some work during Mahi Ramadan here, where we just did some blood pressure checks, and one guy was so high, he is on 3 lots of tablets now, thank God. He got him in the right time. Young man, about 48, 50, our own Khoja Shia. So these are the things which are amazing. I know you know all these things, you all use pharmacies, but sometimes you have to go slightly more into it, okay? And try to take time with the pharmacists, talk to them, okay? And don't, if somebody's trying to shoo you away because they're busy and they're selling some shampoos, etc., just say, can I please talk to the pharmacist? I'll wait,
So can you write prescription?
We can, if I am a prescribing pharmacist, yes, prescribing doctor. So IP is independent prescriber. So there's a course that now is offered to other pharmacies. So you'll see a lot of doctors have got pharmacists who are independent prescribers who work in there, who write prescriptions. In fact, it's cheap labor for them because they're paying them the pharmacy rate and they are doing all the prescribing, all the repeat prescriptions, etc. My daughter is one. My daughter is an independent prescriber, so she works with a private firm and she actually prescribes. She sees patients and things like that. Yeah. She's a pharmacist, not a doctor. So the ailments that we are talking about are, say, normal coughs and colds, sprains and strains, sore throat, sinusitis, earache, constipation, and headache. These are the normal things that happen to people. Okay, so they have to they go into the pharmacy, and the pharmacist will help you out. Anything sinister, for example, if I was to look into here and I see that there is a red mark there, and if I think there's infection, there's a possible your drum is slightly leaking, etc., I'll certainly refer you to it. And the doctor looks at it, he'll give you some drops, and if he thinks it's not good enough, goes to ENT, get it checked out. Simple as that. But things like big C, cancers, the heart problems, etc., they can easily be picked up by smaller diagnoses. Then they are moved on to the medical professional who will then appropriately train you. So these are some amazing things happening. I think this is the step in the right direction for the NHS to go for, my personal view. So I will quickly pause here just to let you know that this is a very wide topic. I mean, we can then take each and every ailment, which I intend to do if I get an opportunity to speak again, inshallah, and we can elaborate on one and really go into the depth of it, discuss it thoroughly, okay, and also invite you to tell us what you want to talk about. Like I was asked to speak about a little bit about diabetes. We can actually take the whole session on diabetes. We can do a forum sitting here, and we can show you how things are done, how blood is taken, things like that. Okay, so let's look at what is self-care in Islam. Yeah. So like self-care is not just a boost of productivity and positivity in your life. It is also a way of showing gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. I reflected upon this sentence that was sent to me by my daughter actually, and I looked at it and said, it really makes sense. If you say, we know from the Quran that verily in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do the hearts find ease. Yeah, when you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do the zikr, yeah, you say to Ar-Rahman, you give him all those names, you are doing you find peace. You are at peace with yourself and with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Making time for yourself on a routine basis is to spend a quiet meditation, reflection can bring closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because ultimately our bodies have the right over us, and our health is a trust from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which we should look after and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every day of the day. When I get up in the morning, I say, Alhamdulillah, thank you for the day. Okay? I finish my task, I say, Alhamdulillah, it's not difficult. It's just one thing, you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you march on. Like Imam Musa al-Kazim alayhi salam said, that you can spend your time in 4 ways actually. First is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing things that we always wanted to do with Allah. talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make du'as, read du'as, worship, read the Holy Quran, whatever you want to do. Number one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, this follows with your closeness and your bonds with your family. Spend time with your family, your near ones, your friends, your elders, and the community at large. Number two is the livelihood of your work. To make sure you improve yourself where you are working, so that you improve the environment within which you are working, as well as making a difference to the people. So, for example, in my pharmacy, I would make an improvement so that when the patients or people come in to me, they would be happy to come in there, and they get something out of us which is worth for them to do that. This way, both of us don't waste our time, and we are both done. Number three is to spend time with the believer. Like we are all believers, alhamdulillah, and we spend time with each other to see where we are and what we think. Doctor is laughing, which maybe thinks some of us are not believers, but I'm sure we are.
No, he was pointing at me.
Oh yes, okay. Yeah, he's a massive believer.
Yeah, you want the Iblis or the other one?
I don't know. Or maybe it's a Mr. Memas. Okay. And the fourth one is enjoying things that you have been made halal for you, So all the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you halal to go, you enjoy your life with it, with your family and friends. And that is what Imam Qasim alayhi salam has said to us, yeah. These are some of the things on the self-care, I also came across, if you got time, 2 minutes. You got time? Yeah. Okay. I came across some of the ayahs of the Quran, and I'll just give you 4 examples, if I may, and then I'll move on. Quick things that will increase our internal resources to fill up our metaphoric task, if you like. And these are self-care tips, both Islamic and based on scientific research and the ayahs of the Quran, and easily accessible online, of course. Online is the big thing now. So, number one, I'll give you 4 examples. Number one is take time for your faith. So, if you come to Subuh Namaz, you hear these translations, etc., from the tafsir of Quran. And we've done Surah Al-Ra'd a few weeks back, if you remember, before and it says, verily in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do the hearts find rest. What it basically means is whatever this looks like to you, we have to build time into our days and nights, for our faith to be sustained. Okay, it's a very wide, broad translation. It may not be one tafsir. It could be many tafsirs together. Put it away. Making salah, doing du'as, zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reading Quran are not just our duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are a deep source of peace and serenity. Prayer improves health. A variety of studies and research have shown that prayer fights depression, helps coping with stress, and makes you live longer with tranquility, inshallah. Number 2, practice gratefulness. I touched it briefly. Again, Surah Ibrahim 14.7, it says, be grateful and I will give you more. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. While it may always be the easiest things to cultivate an attitude of gratitude, gratitude has always been shown in clinical studies to reduce stress, improve sleep, alleviate depression, and generally improve our quality of life. Okay, gratitude is a buffer against stress and a guarantee to increase blessings. Okay. Number 3 is spend time contemplating nature. I briefly mentioned that. And this is, you'll find it in Surah Al-Rum 30.12.6, 21 to 26. It says, verily in this are the signs for those with reason. Yeah. So go out, take your shoes off, and scrunch your toes in the grass. Be it a local park or backyard. Take time to go around trees, or even if you're on the beach or any other open space. Nature is one of those books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we need to read and study. The other 2, of course, being the Quran and our individual lives. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it is incredibly important nature can benefit our physical, mental health greatly and rapidly. Spending time in nature has been shown in studies to improve short-term memory, reduce inflammation, fatigue, stress, anxiety. It protects your vision and lowers blood pressure. And the last one before I start daily a mindful practice. I had to think about when I read that, and it is from Surah An-Nahl 16.9. Yeah, so you may be mindful. Yeah, so the word zikr in the Quran is often translated as mindfulness. Yeah. Sometimes they say even the taqwa, whereby nearness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not necessarily frightened of Imam, but nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is also translated as mindfulness by multiple translators, you know. And I'm not comparing any Shia Sunni or any other translators. I'm just basically looking at the whole scenario. As usual, the Quran predates and predicts the science. It's amazing. You know, it is in the Quran, we have to research through it. Yeah, pointless saying, Quran ma to che to wanchu karo. That's the main thing. That's what basically this says. So daily meditation and mindfulness has tons of science in it. Yeah, to prove that it's healthy and helpful. As little as 10 minutes a day of meditation or mindfulness practice can drastically improve your health. Imam Ali has said that take time in a corner during the day, yeah, just for yourself and think about it. That was self-care 1400 years ago. You know, we have got it in our books. We hear it from the member, but do we do it? I think inshallah from today onwards we will, we will do it. So this is in conclusion on the 4 ayats, I think that we should calculate our health, our strengths with these healthy practices, courtesy of the Holy Quran, inshallah, and let us stay strong. And as the hadith says, the Ahlul Bayt al-Islam, our beloved Ahlul Bayt have taught us practically how to submit to the full submission to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, you can see even if you look at Imam Kazim alayhi salam and the troubles that he went through in the prison, etc. Yeah, it shows you where he was. Yeah, how he was self-caring for himself. Okay, and this is the result. You look at every of our imams. They have gone through tribulations. Yeah, and yet they self-cared for themselves, for the community. Okay, and they gave us all this so much. So, I won't take any more of your time, sir. Just wanted to, sorry? We've got time. You've got time, yeah, okay. Okay, so very quickly, if I've got time. I've got a list of things which I looked at this morning to see what are age-related issues that we get, yeah? And I think this will be useful for us to have a quick synopsis of what I mean. So age-related issues, for example, dementia is one. Very common nowadays. You'll see half of the people, not half, but a reasonable percentage are getting there, unfortunately. Okay, I don't have the statistics, so please, I cannot quote half. Diabetes, which I quickly did it, and thank you for your help with that. Well, symptoms are very simple with diabetes, yeah? You get thirst, you've got to go to the toilet all the time at night, there's weight loss, the wound doesn't heal very fast. If you cut yourself, you see it doesn't move, yeah. The vision, bit dodgy, suddenly you see that your favorite ZTV program is not showing properly, that kind of thing. You also get a lot of itching around your private parts, okay? And UTI is very common, yeah? That is another thing. The other thing that you find that you'll see that belly button here, down here, you get a retention. This is where the BMI is looked at, so you have to put your, you don't want the funda as such, the diabetic funda come out there. So that you have to be very careful about, yeah? And like the doctor said and others also mentioned, walking is the key thing. Walking does circulation good, and that's the thing, yeah? The other thing is Dangers. Dangers are, what are our dangers at our age as we get old? Is heart, stroke, feet, vision, heart disease, kidney damage, nerve damage, gum disease. Okay. So plan a medication, blood every 3 months if you can with your doctors. You are entitled to it. Okay. And don't worry about the doctor says it's going to cost NHS 150 pounds. You deserve it. Just go there for your blood test. Okay. They'll give you all sorts of sob story. Just go and get it done. You are entitled to it. It comes out of their cough pockets. That's why they're trying to do it. So what you do is you tell them, look, I need it, and that's it. You know, you have to have it. For those people who got diabetics, minimum 6 months, you have to go for your thing. And every year, your eyes have got to be tested for retinopathy. Very important. Okay? It's a very simple test, but it predicts that. So don't delay on it. Put it in the diary and make sure you go for that. So what is BP? What is blood pressure? Elevated blood pressure. And then just stroke and heart attack. So ideal BP should be less than, for the age group over 70s and things like that, is 100, although I'd say it at 130, but they say 140 over 90. Okay? And over 80s, 150 to 90, slightly higher, is acceptable. Okay? Low blood pressure is about 90 to 60. You know, when and how to measure the BP, blood pressure? So 1/3 of over 40s years old have got high blood pressure. Come to me. Come to our pharmacy. It'd be a pleasure. Okay? Go to any pharmacy close to you. If you're over 40 and just say, look, do my blood pressure, they'll be delighted to do that. It'll take 15 minutes max. They'll give you a result. They give you the reading. If the reading is high, go to see a doctor. They'll say refer or whatever. If not, it's fine for you. Okay? But so do it yourself. It's got to be self-care by yourself to go and see a doctor, to a pharmacist. Okay? There is a way of recognizing heart attack called FAST, you know, that system which they say that, I don't want to go into it, take some time. So if you're getting that kind of chest pain, breathing problems, sweating hair, things like that, don't mess around, call 999. Okay? Lack of breathing, choking here, sweating, things like that, immediately call 999 and they'll take care of it, even if it's a false alarm. Okay? Mitigation is very important, whereby overweight, you must bring your weight down. You must bring your weight in such a way that is within the parameters of your height-weight ratio, which you can easily find. If you want any more information on that, I'll be delighted to pass it on to you, which you can then publish it. The weight, the blood pressures, the standard, all those things, leaflets, etc. Not the leaflets that I'll make it in such a way that is one-liners, so it's easier. Because when they give you all the things to read, people just throw it away, yeah? So I'll see if I can do an info pack for the seniors, and inshallah, within one or 2 weeks, so when I get, I'll do it for you, sure. Medication, managing the side effects. When you get up in the morning, don't just boom, get out, because you will just hurt yourself. Your blood pressure will change suddenly. Chakri house and padi jaso. You know, it's going to be dangerous for you, because two things can happen. Your bones can break, and because of our age, you know, to repair the bones takes a long time. Second thing is you can injure yourself otherwise, and unnecessary ambulance calls, etc., etc. So when you get up, sit up for a few minutes, okay, and then Bismillah, yeah, and say Alhamdulillah, and you can move on, inshallah. Any side effects of your medication that you're having. For example, if you take aspirin and you've forgotten to take your omeprazole with it, you'll get stomach upsets, things like that. Talk to your pharmacist. If there are other things like, for example, there are some blood pressure tablets will give you swelling in your feet, like amlodipine, for example. Those people on that, they get a massive swelling on their feet. Not everybody, but majority of them. It's not that you got a problem. Talk to your pharmacist. They will direct you correctly. You can change your amlodipine to Losartan or some other tablet for blood pressure. You see? So those are other things that you should talk. So what you do is observe yourself, self-care, to see what you need to be done, and accordingly you take advice from the healthcare professional. Okay. Other things I'll quickly go through. dry mouth, etc., beads and clots that you get. Arthritis, hearing, eye, falls. Falls are normal things now for elderly, so be very careful, you know. Falling down. If you go up the stairs suddenly and you slip, and very dangerous. Take your sweet time, there's no need to hurry. Yeah? Right? If the postman is trying to, or Amazon is trying to deliver, don't worry, let him wait. Slowly come down, open the door. Pointless breaking your leg for him. Yeah. I'll go past that very quickly. Yeah. And then if I go on to UTI, which is very common with elderlies, okay? So when you get the urinary tract infection, you get burning of the urine, blah, 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 all these things happening to you. If there's not too much discharge, it's fine. Sometimes you get blood in it, yeah? So you've got to be very careful. Drink a lot of fluid, because maybe you are dehydrated. Drink a lot of fluid. So what I tell my patients is you have flush your system out, okay? And then if you've got a problem still, have some antibiotics. There are a number of antibiotics available, okay? And those people who have got this problem with gelatin, etc., there are tablets available, okay? So you don't have to capsules, okay? So, for example, nitrofurantoin, you can go for capsules or tablets, or trimethoprim, things like that for UTIs, etc. So you can talk to your pharmacist or your doctor accordingly. Mental health is a massive subject, yeah, which I want to tackle next time around if I can. Yes. We can expire. It's coming up very soon with this new pharmacy first. I think for end of January onwards, when it's launched thoroughly, the pharmacists will be able to prescribe those things. Yeah. Avoid worries, drinks, blah blah. We have talked about that. Sleep, back pain, heart, diabetes, sugar, reduce caffeine, more fish twice a week, lots of water, which was gone through it. So I really don't want to go through this. We can do it some other session, general session, where we can have all sitting down together, giving us each other. I think what we should do is we develop these sessions so that we can all then participate, and then some people can come up with their own examples, you know, and we can do the case studies and study accordingly, I think, yeah. So basically, I have kind of finished. Just one second, have I finished? Yes, I think I have. Yes, I just want to thank the chair, Azad Bhai, and the seniors team for giving me this opportunity to speak to you, and to my dearest elders and my friends for listening to me patiently, and do forgive me if I've rattled on a bit more. Okay, God bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My pleasure.
It was a very interesting session. I benefited a lot. May Allah increase your tawfiq in giving us more knowledge, Chairman. It was very beneficial. And there are few tips that one will give. Shukran.
I'm grateful.
We'll call him again. Please, very important. He said himself he would like
I'm available, sure, and absolutely, anytime, sure.
We'll have namaz time. We'll have at 12 o'clock today. Ziara, please. Yeah. The Yasin after namaz.
توجه زيارة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله والأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وعلى ختم رحلك عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله عبدا ما بكيت وبكي ليل والنهار ولا جعل الله آخر أحد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين سيدي ومولاي أبو الفضل عباس وأختك زينب جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا شمس شموس وأنيس النفوس أيها المنفون بأرض توس الرضا المجتبى مولانا ومولى الكونين السلطان أبا الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء. وفقد الله لزيارتك يا مولانا ورزقنا الله شفاعتك في الدنيا والآخرة. والصلاة والسلام على آبائك الطاهرين وابنائك المأسومين وعلى أختك فاطمة معصومة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا حجة الله يا ابن الحسن يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا عين الله في خلقي. السلام عليك يا صراط الله. السلام عليك يا سفينة النجاة. فأزفني واجرني صلواتك وعلى أهل بيتك الطيبين الطاهرين. عجل الله لك ما وعدك من النصر وزهول الأمر ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.